Hey guys, welcome back to Swooning over Stans. It's me, Chibi Tabitha. We just left off with a bit of a cliffhanger. Stan just asked us if we were ready to go on our errands. And now, the answer is yes, because it's the start of a new video, and we're gonna go. Ready. You slide into the passenger seat as Stan settles into the driver's seat. It takes a couple tries to start, but the engine's chugging away by the time you've got your seatbelt on. The radio stammers to life as the engine does, spitting out generic-sounding rock music into the leather-scented air of the car's interior. After a moment spent adjusting mirrors and fiddling with knobs, Stan slots the gear shift into drive and pulls out of the Mystery Shack slot and down the road to town. His car. His car. The radio's on, and Stan taps his fingers on the steering wheel to the beat of the music while he drives. My voice is shot. I can't like look at the jaw on that man. I can't. So I take it we're not making a quick trip for milk and eggs. He laughs and glances over at you. Nope. Then where are we going? First stop is to see a buddy of mine, a hunter. I get all my taxidermy supplies from him. So that's where you get your parts from. Yeah? Oh, I just figured you got them from a local farm or something. And do business with those hippies? Not a chance. Well, I really enjoyed making that showpiece with you the other day. I had no idea you were so creative. I've erased it from my memory. As soon as I stop recording, my mind is just erased like an etch and sketch, because if I retain any of this in my mind, it will drive me insane and I'll explode. If you ever hear the news about, in global news, you know, local ginger kid explodes, because I retained any information, any knowledge of this game has glued into my mind. He glances over at you with poorly hidden surprise, turning almost immediately back to the road and shrugging. It's just gluing stuff together, really. That's one way to talk about it. No, it really takes a lot of skill. Okay. No, I think it takes a lot of skill. I think it takes a lot of skill. You have a real gift for it. He turns to you again, and his cheeks go a little pink when he sees the smile you're giving him. Well, thanks. After a moment, he faces the road again, but now he's tapping out the rhythm of the song with a little more enthusiasm and even humming the chorus as he drives. Do you have any other hobbies? He rolls his shoulders He rolls his shoulders back in a Oh my god, guys! It's like looking at the sun and my brain is off, and I should have gotten up. I should have, like, walked around the house or something. He rolls his shoulders back in a shrug, his head tilting off a bit towards the window. These days I spend most of my time out on the boat with Ford, hunting monsters, discovering things. He pauses, watching the road without expression. So, like, hey-oh, I'm not from Gravity Falls. Monsters don't exist to me outside of, like, myth, folklore, etc., like, monsters aren't real. If I didn't believe in ghosts in a convenience store, there's no way I believe that this man is on a boat hunting monsters with his twin brother. I used to box. It shows. This man's built like a boxer. He's big up top, and then he's tiny on the bottom. Perfect shape. It shows. He looks at you, grinning. That's amazing. I wish I'd grown up doing something like that. That's true. I do wish I had done. That's good English. Yeah. I have no excuses. I'm learning Danish. I don't know Danish. I can't be like, oh, I know two languages. No, I don't know anything. I barely know French. People speak French at me in my day-to-day life, and I'm like, oh, you want a coffee? I understand coffee in French, and milk. Outside of that, I'm kind of hosed. I wouldn't mind showing you a few things if you wanted. Oh, I never finished my thought. Oh, wow. Oh! Train of thoughts. All over the place. Yeah, I was one of those nerdy kids who just sat around reading. I would occasionally go out biking with my friends. But, like, it was books, and then we slowly went into video games with the Nintendo 64 that my dad bought me when I was a kid. Though we weren't, like, super big. Like, we mostly would, like, take turns playing solitaire on whoever's computer at whoever's house. Because that's perfectly normal and a way to be and live. I don't know. We were weird kids. Weird kids. But yeah, I didn't do anything fun. My other friend, who was also a redhead, she did taekwondo. I'm a little jealous of that. I hope she still does. I haven't seen her in a while. She, like, moved across the country, I think. She's cool. She's so cool. Cooler than I am, honestly. I wouldn't mind showing you a few things if you wanted. I wouldn't be able to handle myself. You want to see somebody explode from too much blood rushing to their face? 'Cause, oh, I don't think I'd be any good at it. But I'd like that. Yeah, I'll die by blood loss. Running to my face. Running to... open mouth, insert foot. That's what's happening here. After about 20 minutes of rural scenery, Stan pulls off the road and onto a long gravel driveway that disappears into the woods. Is this the place? Stan nods and rounds a turn to reveal a clearing populated by a trailer home and a couple of sheds. The trailer is a bit run down and shabby. One of the sheds looks like it's about one strong sneeze from collapsing. Not really the place you want to be at night while alone with a guy you practically just met. Be honest. Did you bring me here to murder me? Stan laughs, cutting the engine and resting his arm on the back of the front seat. Unfortunately, you figured it out, so now I definitely gotta kill you. Kid, relax. He moves to get out of the car, then turns back with a creepy blank expression on his face. Or am I? I hope I did that right. I literally unfocused my eyes, and I'm only doing that once. Hope it worked. You chuckle nervously, and he laughs again, pushing the door open. Seriously, I'm kidding. Won't be long. At the door to the trailer, Stan knocks, and the door opens on a dark interior before he walks inside. The door shuts behind him. We don't see the other person? That's horrifying. Don't like that. You give the yard a few curious glances before realizing that the weird pile of sticks you've been looking at is actually bones. You quickly pull out your phone to look at instead. Thank God for cell phones. 10 minutes later, and Stan's back carrying a large cardboard box in both hands. You see him fumble with the handle of the rear left door for a moment before you reach back over the seat and pop it open for him. His left would be my right, which I would be able to reach. Yeah, I guess so. Sorry. I'm one of those people when I'm, like, reading stuff, I'm like, the mysterious third hand has appeared. You could also, I guess, like, lean back the other way and reach across. As I, like, dip off the camera, but, like... Yeah, I guess so. As long as you're, like, unbuckled. I've done that. I've, like, unbuckled... I feel like I do that too. I take my one finger, I unbuckle myself, and I rip off the seatbelt, and I, like, dive across... I'm a menace. I'm a menace to society, I'm a menace to myself. I'm a menace. A peek in the box reveals a few various shades of furry somethings, and an animal skull you don't recognize. This doesn't seem like something worth busting out all your darkest duds for. We weren't by any chance robbing a bank, are we? Because I would have brought gloves. Stan laughs. No, nothing like that. He starts the car up again and you're back on the road. I love I really love how they, like, changed the background. So, like, we left when the sun was setting, so the background was that, like, nice, warm, orangey, kind of, the nice sunset-y colors. But now that it's night, it's that kind of, like, cool evening blue. So, the art in this is so good. It's so beautiful, guys. Somehow, I'm not quite convinced. Well, who knows where the night's going to take us? Could be legal, could be not. Is that a problem? I'd like to say actually yeah. But the answer's like, no. Can we swing by a jeweler? I need a new watch. Yeah, I mean, he's a funny man. Let's do it. Kid, you're a riot. I said the option I selected was, can we swing by a jeweler's? I need a new watch. Stan takes the highway. The final minutes of the sun sets burnt orange and purple ahead of you, while the welcome sign for Gravity Falls disappears into the rearview mirror. I mean, yeah, if you're looking in the rear view, it'll say welcome, but, like, if you're looking out the front, it says goodbye. A lot of small towns kind of have that. My Oma lived in a small town, and I remember seeing those signs a lot, because we would have to leave the town. We had to go, I think the next largest town near where she lived, we would have to go to Stratford, and we would have to go to London. And those sound like super British names. They're not. They're in Canada. Those are the actual cities in Canada. We had to go to Stratford for whenever I had to buy shoes, and we went for London for, like, anything else. Sometimes we would also get other stuff in Stratford, but, like, Stratford was like, medium-sized. So we would either go to the medium-sized or, like, the actual city. Medium-sized town, I should say. I'm from a big city, so I should really scale back. Scale way back. A new song comes on the radio, something bright and bouncy with lyrics about love, and his fingers get back to tapping. In the retreating light, you can see faded patches on the rim of the steering wheel, the color worn away from decades worth of his touch. The oils on your hands will eat away at anything. If you watch people who keep their, like, gamers who keep their keyboards for forever, their mice for forever if they last that long, you'll notice that, like, the key faces start going missing, the plastic on the mouse starts wearing, like, the paint on the plastic of the mouse wears down. Like, human oils are destructive. It's wild. And that just sits on our skin. It sits on our skin. It's supposed to, like, help protect our skin, and it, like, destroys everything else. It's wild. I'm pretty sure that's what it's for. I could be wrong. Probably wrong. I'm not a scientist. The passenger seat you sit in hasn't yet taken on the shape of someone specific. Even after all this time, the springs still feel brand new. Meanwhile, on the driver's side of the car, Stan settled easily into his seat, which fits him as well as a finely tailored jacket. You tuck your leg up under its mate, leaning back into the dark leather of the DeVille's interior, and watch as cars pass and recede out the windshield. I love night driving. Night driving is the best. Night driving is so good. I don't drive. I'm a passenger always. I also don't tuck my leg under me because car crashes are horrific, and I'd like all of my bones to be roughly in the spot where you find them normally. But hey, you know, all the power to me for being a rebel. After a few minutes of music-backed silence, you feel like breaking it. I'm gonna ask about his car. Oh, the Stanmobile here? Stan pats the dashboard affectionately, running his hand over the leather interior. I've had her since high school. Nice ride, ain't she? I'm surprised an old rust bucket like this has lasted so long. They really don't make them like they used to, do they? I don't know a lot about cars. I do know this much, though. We went from, like, steel frames to aluminum frames, and, like, I get that aluminum frames are designed to better protect their passengers, but they're not designed to withstand crashes. So if you get into a big enough crash with a newer car, your car is gone. with a car like this with a steel frame, as long as the car's not completely totaled, you can, like, recreate the outside of the car, and the framework will still be good and useful. Nope, they sure don't. I'm gonna tell a joke. Why do chicken coops have 2 doors? Why are there fences around graveyards? My granddad had the heart of a lion. Okay, I know this one. My granddad had the heart of a lion and a lifetime ban from the zoo. This one I know. This one I've, like, known for a really long time. Why are there fences around graveyards? Stan glances over at you, double-checking that this is the setup to a joke. I don't know. Why? Because people are dying to get in! Oh, the joke is so stupid! I hope I remember it to tell my coworker at work. We tell each other dumb jokes all the time. I hope I remember it. That's so stupid. Stan laughs. Ha, this is pretty good. He thinks for a minute, presumably to come up with a joke of his own. Alright, a blonde walks into a bank in New York City. Oh no, this isn't gonna be one of those awful blondes or dumb jokes, is it? I do laugh at those, though. I laugh at those. They're so bad. They're so bad and I laugh so hard. He levels a withering look on you. Can I tell the joke? I don't know. Can you? You grin with your lower lip caught between your teeth, clearly joking, and he chuckles. Anyways, blonde walks into a bank in New York. She goes up to the bank manager and she says, I'd like to take out a loan for $5,000. I'm taking a vacation overseas. Car passes you on the highway going 20 over the speed limit and Stan swears and then stifles it. Yeesh, night drivers. So the bank manager goes, well, miss, do you have collateral? We need collateral for that kind of loan. And she nods and says she does, and she takes the bank manager out to the parking lot where she's got a $50,000 Ferrari waiting, and she says, this is my car. You can hold on to it until I pay back my loan. Stan continues, glancing over at you and trying to suppress a smile. The bank manager's confused, but he figures if this lady doesn't pay, he's gonna have a nice new Ferrari in his garage, so he agrees. A sign for an exit ahead points off to the right, the text reading, County Road 328, and Stan takes it off the highway. So he gives the blonde her 5 Gs, she hands him the keys to her car, and she heads off to Europe. A month later, she shows back up at the bank with the 5 Gs and the interest for the loan, which figures out to about $15. Stan continues, turning down an unlit gravel road, the headlights casting spooky shadows through the trees. I'm still not convinced we're not gonna die. The bank manager takes the repayment for the loan and interest and has one of his employees bring the car out in front of the bank for the blonde. Out ahead on the road, a deer turns its face to the car and then leaps across the road to disappear into the woods. Just before she leaves, the bank manager stops the blonde and says, Lady, I'm real confused here. You're clearly loaded enough to afford this car, and you paid back the loan and then some. Why take out the loan if you're so rich? And the lady turns to him, runs a hand through her hair, and says, where else can I park my car in New York City for 2 weeks for only $15? The joke itself is not very funny. It's clever, though, and I will give it that. This could also just be my broken sense of humor. I'm really weird. I laughed at the graveyard joke, obviously. It's funny. You burst into wild laughter, and he laughs along with you. Also, I'm sure if I actually, heard it, it wasn't me reading it, if I was just, experiencing it, maybe it would be funny. But it's fine. Alright, I take it back. That was the best blonde joke I've ever heard in my life. Well, I don't know about that. My mom and I regularly look at each other and say, we want to be blondes when we grow up. She's also a redhead like me. Just as you finish speaking, Stan pulls off to the side of the road and the engine dies. As you step out of the car, the unearthly silence of the woods envelops the two of you. Out in the woods ahead, you see a single bright light. Is this the place? Just about. You follow him back towards the trunk, which he opens quietly and slowly, frowning as it squeaks. What are we doing here? You might not guess it looking at me, but I got a thing. thing? Stanley Pines? What does that mean? The two of you stare at each other for a moment, and he looks a little nervous. For art. Ah, there we go. I was like, what thing? That's cute! He likes art! I do too. Oh my god, this is a problem. I have a problem with art. Oh man. Like, you can kind of see, this way, sorry. This thing up on my wall here is something my pal made for me. As soon as I could, I hung up with a thumbtack. Quite legitimately, I took a thumbtack, I stabbed it into the wall, and I hung it up. Because I like art. Buying art is a problem for me. Can't be stopped. Will not stop. When I go to conventions with my friends, they have to hold my hands. Because if they don't, I will go in, and in about 15 minutes I will spend more money than I thought I should have. Or in general, just in general, will spend more money than I should have in like 15 minutes. It's bad. It's bad. We have safety measures in place, also aside from the hand-holding. I have to state which fandoms I'm purchasing art for, and I always pick at least one obscure one. So I end up never getting art for that one fandom, so like, of the 3 I'm allowed to purchase for, I only end up buying from 2. That really helps curb it, but like, yeah, I like art. I like art. I also buy original art. I have original pieces in the basement that you'll never see because I don't... This wall over here, I have plans for other stuff. I mean, maybe I'll put... Probably won't. However, Batman is judging me as I talk about this. This is like a Funko Pop Batman plush, and he is judging me harshly. That's fine, he can do that. I do too! He brightens, smiling in the dim haze of the trunk light. Well, this jump up this hill here has won by this artist, Gustav... Clowning! Snuck it from right out under me at an auction. I've been trying to buy it off him for years, but the jerk won't sell no matter how much I offer him. And trust me, you meet this guy, you know it's out of spite. So we're stealing it. You got it, kid. What? He did try to buy it first. Frankly, I'm surprised you haven't done this. I would say both of these in this order is the problem. I would say, well, you did try to buy it first, and frankly, I'm surprised you haven't done this sooner. So let's go with the last one of that. Stan laughs quietly, fishing around in the duffel bag for you don't know what. Wait till you see it. It's a masterpiece. I've been waiting 6 months for him to go out of town. Here, take these. He pulls a pair of gloves from the bag, handing them to you. When you slide them on, they fit almost perfectly. I guess your size, right? If he did, that's a miracle. My hands are wild. I'm like, you can see like my shoulders fit from one end of the camera to the other, kind of. There's a little bit of a drop off here, but my hands are very small. I have very small hands. Like, when I go to buy gloves, I can, like, leather gloves, I'm pretty sure I have to buy, like, smalls. Because my hands are small. You nod, wiggling your fingers. Stan chuckles, pulling on a pair of his own, a set of black leather driving gloves with silver snap closures that glint in the light from the trunk. That's all. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Open mouth, insert foot, choke to death. Got it. You ready, kid? As I'll ever be. Stan tucks a few things into the inner pockets of his jacket that you can't see in the low light, and with the trunk shut just as quietly as it was opened, you follow him up into the woods towards the distant light. As you near it, a porch takes shape. Within the light's glow. Behind it, the dark shape of a house sits in the even darker woods. Stan leads you past the front porch and around the corner of the house to a set of stairs that appears to lead into a basement. Ah, this is my favorite part. He withdraws a small black shape from his pocket and something that looks like it might be a pen. The pen-shaped thing turns out to be a small flashlight, and he holds it in his teeth as he opens the black case to reveal a set of lockpicking tools. You're a lucky person, kid. You get to see the artist in action. He gets to work inserting one tool in and wiggling it down to the bottom of the keyhole, then pulling out another and poking at the innards of the lock with it. There's a spelling mistake here, and that tripped me up. I was like, wait, what? I got it. We're good. You glance around in the darkness as he works, half expecting to get caught before you get anywhere, but the lock clicks and stands, opening the door for you with a flourish. Now, I watched that lock-picking guy on TikTok. I think his name's like Lockpick McNally or something. I don't know how many times I've just watched him take a lock, smash it against something, and that sucker pops open. Locks are like super easy to pick. I'm still impressed. Don't get me wrong. This is an impressive feat. But like after watching a man just like slam locks against each other and having them both pop open, like I feel like I could open a whole lock. I can't. I've tried, it didn't work, but like it's cool. It's still cool. It's still super cool. The dexterity required to actually pick locks is amazing. That was so cool. Just talking about how cool it was. Okay, yeah, alright. He beams with pride and you smile politely as he steps through the door in front of him. The basement is unlit. It smells like dust and mildew, the air sour with wet dirt and mold. Oh, is it like an unfinished... not an unfinished. There's a difference between an unfinished basement and a packed dirt basement, and this sounds like a packed dirt basement. Oh, yikes. Stan moves past you into the dark, his little pen flashlight still lit, and leads you through a cobwebby laundry room and towards a door across from the bottom of a set of rickety wooden stairs. Wait till you see this, kid. He picks the lock of this door just as quickly as he picked the last, and the door creaks open into a dark room with odd flooring barely lit by Stan's flashlight. Stan goes first, and as you follow him in, he hits a light switch, revealing a beautifully designed gallery with plush scarlet carpets and gleaming wood paneling full of paintings of sad clowns. I knew it was going to be a velvet clown painting as soon as I saw that the name was Clowning. Jesus, it was right there. Stan looks more excited than you've seen him yet, his arms crossed over his chest and a warm smile on his face. Can you believe that Hillbilly Chump has a collection like this? I kind of like this one in the back. You shake your head slowly, still looking around the room with wide eyes. This one's horrifying. Someday all of these are going to be mine. Come on, I'll show you the one we're here to get. You follow him to the back of the room, and he stops in front of a large painting of a clown with bright red lips and blue circles on his cheeks, his eyes outlined in black with comically large eyelashes painted onto his eyelids. His neck droops sadly, and his costume is dingy and worn. What do you think? The meme! No, this is beautiful. You really like this kind of thing? No kidding? So here's the thing. Even, like, classic paintings, sad clown paintings, they all, each kind of art has its own draw. And, like, sad clown paintings are really interesting. It's the kind of, like, the dichotomy between a person who's supposed to be bringing joy, embodying cheerfulness, enjoying that kind of childlike wonder and spirit, just absolutely crushed by the weight of the world. And like sad clown paintings are actually like pretty interesting. I wouldn't ever collect them, but like if this is what he likes, man, I don't care. He can put up whatever he wants in his house. You like this kind of thing? No kidding. As long as he doesn't like put it anywhere weird. I don't like rooms where, like, bedrooms with paintings with, like, faces on them. I don't like that. That's a big no for me. Doesn't matter if it's a sad clown, doesn't matter if it's, like, people playing in the park. If there's faces and I can see them and I have to sleep in that room, the painting is coming down. No. Stan's voice is edged with hope. They're all beautifully done. That's what I just said. It's nice to meet somebody who really appreciates these like I do. It's excellent, especially as an art piece. Well, why not? This is a masterpiece. The way the artist has captured his pain, the way the framing makes him look small and pitiful, even though he takes up most of the canvas. Oh, that means it's got like a thick frame. The juxtaposition of the inherent joy of clowning and the anguish of this this man clearly feels what makes this kind of painting really special. I just said that. Huh. The writers of the game, me, brain cell. Yay! Well, let's get this thing off the wall and out of here. Look at this man. I kind of like this one, actually. This one and this one, I like. So I said I had, like, original art, and if I was to put it, I would put it here, maybe. And it's, like, 3 paintings kind of like this, and it depicts, like, a sky... Not a skyline, but it's the sky with power lines, and it's got birds on it, and so, like, they go across. It's cute. I really like it. As you look over a portrait of a mime with dirt on his white and black striped shirt, you're suddenly grabbed by your shoulders. Boo! Ah! You scream, eyes shut in fear as you throw a weak karate chop at the source of the noise, making unimpressive contact with something solid and muscular. After a moment's panic, you squeeze whatever the thing is with your hands and open your eyes, finding... Ha! Who's that supposed to hurt me? I'm feeling Stan up. Stan's arm and shoulder. It just... Yeah, I'm feeling up the goods. Yep. Boy, he's really back his feet in there. Wow. Yeah. You and me, sister. We know it. Oh, he laughs, apparently very pleased with himself for scaring the absolute life out of you. You need those boxing tips even more than I thought. You can defend yourself from a fly with moves like that. I've murdered plenty of flies with these arms, baby. I murdered one with the notebook. You laugh shakily, and then you realize you're still feeling up Stan's arm. Sorry about that. You pull your hands away a bit too fast, and he chuckles, blushing all the way up to his ears. No problem, kid. He clears his throat, and the silence between you begins to grow awkward before it's interrupted. Upstairs, in what is supposed to be an empty house, you hear footsteps crossing towards the door to the basement. Stan apparently hears them too, a sudden series of expressions crossing his face from shock to confusion to terror, and finally settling on indignation. He quickly takes you by the arm, whispering harshly in your ear as he drags you towards the entrance of the clown room. As soon as he comes in here, shut the door and I'll shove these boxes in front. You nod, and just as a line of light from the top of the stairs blooms into a wide swath, you and Stan duck behind a wall near the door to freedom, one corner of the stolen painting poking you uncomfortably in the ribs. Who's down there? Slippered feet come down the wooden steps ahead of you, and when the owner notices the light on, he holds something long and gun-shaped out in front of himself. Gun-shaped? Pines, if that's you, I swear to God, I'm really gonna shoot you this time. Gun-shaped? I was one step ahead. Gun-shaped? Gun-shaped? Gun? Gun! Stan nudges you, jabbing a thumb towards the door leading outside, and jerks his head towards it. You take a step out from behind the wall, take Stan's hand in your own, and pull him into a jog, and then a run, the two of you scrambling up the concrete steps out into the cool night air as a voice shouts swears behind you. Stan kicks the door shut on his way out, and there's a startled yelp behind you as it makes contact with the owner of the house. There's more swearing, but you lose it behind you as you run, flashlight in one hand and Stan's hand in the other. When you reach the tree line, you part and maneuver your way through bushes and brambles, Stan crashing through them behind you. As you run, a deafening gunshot goes off behind you and you realize that you're being chased. Holy smokes, run for it, Sherry! The noise gets closer, close enough that you can hear your pursuer swearing continually and loudly. You slow a bit, flashing your light behind you and raising the beam to find the distant but visibly enraged face of a man with a rifle in his hands. Oh, I thought it was a shotgun. A rifle is worse. That has more distance. Acting on pure instinct, you fling the flashlight in the direction of the angry man and take off running again. After a moment, the man cries out and the sound of pursuit fades with one final cry. Damn you, Pines! Stan cackles. Sounds like you hit him. You reach the Stanmobile first, sliding into the passenger seat as Stan slips his new clowning into the back seat before joining you in front, both of you panting and huffing. Stan hurriedly starts the engine and pulls off. At the next driveway, he does the fastest three-point turn you've ever seen in your life, and then peels off down the gravel road and screeches out into the highway. Stan's quiet for a second, before letting loose into a wild, triumphant laughter. I thought he was gonna catch me that time for sure. Did a man just shoot at us? Stan nods, still chuckling, and apparently pretty pleased he didn't get hit. He lets out a long, loud sigh, his white-knuckled hands at 10 and 2 on the steering wheel. Yeah, that was... Holy moly. You okay, Sherry? A little shaky, but I'm good. I'll let you know when I find out. I have a delayed stress response. I'm probably fine. He pulls back onto the highway, back in the direction he came from, and he laughs into comfortable silence. After a while, he starts humming along with the radio, and knowing the song this time, you hum along with him. Gravity Falls welcome sign passes by again, but the route Stan's taking doesn't seem to lead back to the shack. Instead, you come to a stop outside rows and rows of used cars. A car dealership. And I think here is where we are going to stop this one. Apparently, our heist to date is not over, even though we have just successfully heisted with our heisting hands a clowning painting. I love that. I love that it's called a clowning. That's really funny. Spelt that way, that's really good. That's really good writing. I really like that. Anyways, if you liked this episode, go ahead, hit that like button, slap that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one, where we will figure out what we are doing in the car dealership. Alright, bye!